All right, here we go. Sarah here. Welcome back to another episode of Your Fucking Welcome. Today, I have a quick and simple episode for you, but an important concept and something that I truly, honest to God, believe that if you embrace what I'm about to share with you and you put it into practice, I really think it could change your entire life, your entire business. Even though it is so simple, we often don't let it be this simple, okay? And the way that I want to share this with you is I think that a lot of us struggle with a little something called decision fatigue, a lot more than we even realize that we do. Okay. So, as I've shared with you, I've been diving into my Enneagram and, just looking at kind of like the way that I think, right, in this whole new way. And again, one of the things that I not learned about myself, but I'm kind of like owning and I'm like giving myself permission to be essentially is just I'm an analytical person. It's something that can be such a beautiful thing in the sense that I think I'm really good at seeing different opinions and different angles, and I'm able to like look at things from other people's perspectives, right, whether it's in life or in business, while at the same time sometimes it can cause a lot of frustration for me because I have this tendency to see things from every which way, which a lot of times it just makes it really difficult for me to make a choice, make a decision. And a lot of times that can keep me in like no man's land. It can make me feel like my brain is like having a ping pong match with itself. It can be exhausting a lot of times. And it's something that I'm learning to navigate a little bit better. But at the same time, again, it's one of my, I don't want to say it's one of the biggest things that I struggle with because it doesn't feel like a struggle as much as it is something I have to just, again, navigate and deal with and like pay attention to. And so I know that this comes up for a lot of different people, whether you are like me, that you're analytical, or maybe it is a situation where, you're just unsure of yourself because you're doing something new, or maybe you're emotional about how you're going to do XYZ because you're really, again, emotional about the outcome of what you're trying to achieve. But this whole concept of decision fatigue and understanding that it's a real thing, for me, it has changed a lot of things in my life and business for the better by actually recognizing it and knowing how fucking important it is for me to choose, for me to make some decisions and stick to those decisions. Okay. So, the classic example that I want to use of this is, as many of you have heard from me before, and as I've shared, a lot over the past couple of years, I have a sales system for myself, right? When we are selling something in our business, we have a structure, a formula that we work off of. And as an example, there's a lot more to it, but like a very quick glimpse into it is that for a long time, especially when I was really mainly marketing in my Facebook group, we had this formula of 6 posts a day, right? 2 gives, 2 give and asks, and 2 asks. And what that meant to me was 2 value-based posts, 2 posts with value plus a call to action, and then 2 straight up sales posts, right? So again, 2 giving posts, 2 give and ask, and then 2 ask. So 6 posts every single day. And as I've said many times before, if you've been in my programs, it's not, and it's never been, that those 6 posts, that 6 post formula is the magic. It was never that it was like, this is the formula that's going to transform your business. This came about because I was in a position at the time when I kind of put it together. I was so sick and tired every single day of trying to figure out what to or how much to post, what else to say. Well, I made 7 posts. Should I do more? What else should I post? Am I going to post more? And then I would let it weigh over me all day. Like, I've got to do another post in the Facebook group. Like, these little tiny stupid things that are these little tiny teeny details have the tendency to weigh over us and make our lives and make our businesses so much heavier than they need to be. And so I got to this point where I was so sick and tired of myself like reinventing the wheel on a daily basis that it was just kind of like, I'm done with this. Here's what we do in the Facebook group. And that's that. I fill in the blanks, right? I check off the boxes. I do what I need to do. Let's say if I was really fired up to say something else, I would go ahead and add another post. But it was a situation where it was like I had, again, the boxes to check off. So I knew it had to get done and I could actually breathe at the end of it because my job was done for the day versus, again, having no structure, having no formula, and then going through a launch, going through selling something and feeling like, oh, what else should I say? Should I post more? Right? And so, again, just like a little bit like we talked about in the last episode, it was never about the 6 posts itself. It was about me giving myself the gift, if you will, of not making more decisions, not allowing decision fatigue to fatigue me essentially and exhaust me and burn me out to the point where I couldn't put good work out there, right? Because again, if you are somebody like me or even a little bit like me and this weighs over you in this way, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to feeling as though these little teeny tiny details, knowing that you've got to get the post out or knowing that you might want to do more, those are little things that weigh over you for days, weeks, months sometimes, and it can be exhausting, right? And again, it can add so much drama and chaos to your business. And so I want to just give you a couple other examples of ways in which we've kind of created systems to get around this, right? And it's, again, not coming from a place of this is the perfect formula. It was simply from a place of here's what we do, and therefore we can then do it consistently, right? So, and again, if you've taken like the 500K sales system, for example, you probably know this already. But one of the big things I did back in 2019 was I decided that moving forward, we were only selling Monday through Friday. And what I mean by this is if I was selling, let's say it was a flash sale, or let's say I was selling something that was just on sale, right? Like it was a self-study program and it was, $100 off. Rather than sitting there every single time I was selling something new, trying to be like, okay, well, how long should the launch go? How many days should it be? Or, when does it start? Should I start selling on Tuesday or should I start selling on Thursday? I got so sick and tired of making those decisions. And I finally was like, that's it, Monday through Friday. That's it. So that means the sale would start on Monday, the sale would end on Friday. If we do longer launches, what we do now is we do a Monday through Friday launch, but it's 2 weeks. So what we'll do is like the first part of the launch starts on that first Monday. Friday is the first deadline. Normally we'll do an extended payment plan available till that first Friday, and that's it. Saturday and Sunday, I'm off, quote unquote. And what I mean by that is Saturday and Sunday, like I don't put any pressure on myself to post or email or anything like that. If I want to, I will, but I really don't like working on weekends. So those 2 days, I kind of give myself permission to like rejuvenate and get like refreshed essentially for the following week. And then the following week, we'll go Monday through Friday. That's where doors are closing Friday. And so I feel energized and pumped up to essentially end the launch, right, where most of the sales come in anyway. And again, that is something that sounds so clean and so simple, but literally changed my business. It was really funny. The first month that I did this, I didn't expect for it to be a money-making decision. I didn't think we were going to make more money. I literally thought we were going to make less money. That I literally was like at the point where I'm like, I don't care. I just need to make fewer decisions on a daily basis or a weekly basis, monthly basis. And I was like, I don't care if we make less money. Like, I just want things to feel cleaner and simpler. And lo and behold, at that time, I think we wound up having like our first $77,000 month, our highest month at that point, because of the fact that I was so much more energized. I was coming at all of my marketing from such a better and more, vibrant, whatever place, and doing therefore a better job of my marketing because I wasn't exhausted. I wasn't burning myself out with all of these decisions. Another example is when we when we share the podcast now, we know, like we have what the template looks like for LinkedIn. We have the template, what it looks like for, sharing on Facebook. We know what gets posted in the Facebook group. We know what gets posted, on the Instagram stories, and there's no reinventing the wheel. And, little things like picking the template that goes up on the Tuesday stories and then the template that goes up on the Thursday stories. It's not about getting either one of those things right. It's just about making a decision and sticking to it. And again, when you make a decision and stick to it versus reinvent the wheel over and over again, you're so much more likely to be consistent. You're so much more likely to, again, navigate with so much less stress and so much less, I always call them tentacles, so fewer tentacles, right? So many different ways, angles that things are going. Because again, when I feel that way, I literally feel like my brain is scrambled eggs, and like it might sound silly, but it's almost to the point where I feel unsafe in my own body. It feels like my brain is going haywire, and one decision on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other about business, let alone also, okay, well, what to eat and, what workout should I do today? So on and so forth. All of it collectively, like adding up, there are moments where I literally feel like a robot that is about to like overheat. It's just about to like literally like the wires are about to get crossed, about to like bzz, and like short circuit. Like that's how I feel sometimes. And so I know for myself, and again, obviously from speaking to clients, that decision fatigue is such a real thing, and it's such a hard thing to kind of put your finger on if you haven't quite identified it for yourself yet. But like, I want you to give yourself the gift of, rather than trying to obsess over how to do every single thing perfect or make the perfect decision for every single thing, I want you to embrace and understand that, again, it's never about the perfect post or the perfect formula. It's about doing the posts and doing the formula, right? Taking your system and taking your decisions essentially and implementing them on a consistent basis, because that will do way more good for you than doing things inconsistently and spending your time and energy. Like, I think I said this in the last episode, like, I think so often we spend so much time thinking that we don't realize that actually the actions that we were taking were very small in comparison to the thinking that we did. And we exhaust ourselves by thinking, and we don't even realize that we're not actually doing and implementing. Giving yourself the gift of making fewer decisions, right? And like by making actual decisions and sticking to them, that will allow you to not have to make so many decisions that, again, are going to weigh over you, burn you out, and all of those kind of things. And quickly, obviously, I think this is obvious, but a reminder that this is obviously not just business stuff, and it's not just posting. It's so many different things, but things like, again, food or exercise. Like sometimes I have a tendency to feel very overwhelmed. I get more overwhelmed thinking about what workout to do, right? Like that feels more exhausting to me than the actual workout. And even something I've been doing lately is like, I just wrote a bunch of different exercises, like moves, like let's say it's like, I don't know, like squats, whatever it is. I wrote a bunch of different workouts on like, let's say 100 index cards. And like, then I know that like, okay, I'm just going to go through the index cards. I'm going to pick 5 of them. And those are the ones that I do 3 times each today. Right. So again, it's not a situation where I'm like, okay, well, should I go, hike at Runyon? Should I spin today? Should I do weightlifting today? Like, it's just, it feels like, again, it can feel so overwhelming. And I feel like it might sound silly, but sometimes it feels like it can swallow me whole. And like, it feels so exhausting to me, especially when I'm in moments where I'm a little bit more anxious. And so again, I know the more that I can allow myself to simply choose and simply trust that like the decision is good and that's it, and I do the thing and then I move on instead of overanalyzing for hours, again, or weeks or months, whatever it is, the better and the faster I make more progress in any area of my life. And so I want you to know that, again, decision fatigue is real. If you are struggling with this, you are not alone. This is a very real thing. And so, again, I want you to give yourself the gift of making decisions and sticking to them, because, again, that will be far easier for you. I promise you. Okay? I hope this is helpful. I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye.